Tonight, the war you will never see coming. Is the deep state trying to push World War III in the Middle East? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, I always start off each episode by thanking each and every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible. There's nothing more I enjoy than going in the comment boards and talking to you guys and getting to hear your side. If you haven't yet, come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as this information gets posted, you will be notified. And thank you again to each and every one of you who have commented. Make sure you read the comments if you are here new to these videos. Now, getting into today's Q. Now, there's nothing new on the Q board, but there is breaking news across the globe and what could possibly end up being the starting point for World War III. And I'm only going to go through this because it needs to be covered. And what we're going to do first, before we get into everything, is I'm going to give you a general outline of what we're talking about here. So what we're talking about is Saudi Arabia and how are they connected on the global stage to what could happen next. In order to understand Saudi Arabia, you have to understand the Middle East in general, first and foremost. So for those of you who, I know a lot of my audience probably already know this, but for those of you who don't know, there is two factions. There's the Sunni and the Shia, and that's the split in the Muslim world. Just two different factions, kind of one more moderate, one more conservative, orthodox. Who aligned themselves with who? Well, let's start off by explaining that you have Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and them. They aligned themselves with the Shias in Iran, and if you look at what they did, they sold weapons technology. They're giving them a stronghold because in the Middle East, if you look at the demographics across the board, you'll see plainly that the Sunnis have the majority through most countries. And you look at from Saudi Arabia to Afghanistan to you name it, there's just a huge Sunni majority around a very large population of Shias that exist in Iran primarily. So what happened was we had this whole cataclysmic relationship through the Iraq War and Afghanistan War, where we basically disrupted the order and left a lot of chaos in the wake. And with what happened with Obama, okay, I can't stress this enough, there was a destabilization effort. Now, it wasn't started by Barack Obama. He wasn't the mastermind behind it by any means, but a complicit character nonetheless. So let's go back and look at Q. Now, this is the first post that Q puts about Saudi Arabia. So let's read through it. How did Saudi Arabia welcome POTUS during his trip? Why was this historic and not covered by mainstream media? How did Saudi Arabia welcome Barack Obama during his trip? How did Saudi Arabia welcome HRC during her trip? Why is this relevant? Not suggesting Saudi Arabia is clean by any means, but they play a role in the global game of risk. Okay? Now, that's the first one. And now, I think this next part's really important to just read through. Combine all posts and analyze. The questions provide answers. Remember, information is everything. The flow of information is no longer controlled by the mainstream media, but by you, others. Hence, why we are dedicating critical time to distribute crumbs, which can be followed in greater detail to paint the entire picture once more information is released. Why has POTUS dedicated so much time into labeling the MSM as fake news? Why is this relevant? We are fully prepared that all social media will be shut down to prevent the spread of this information, i.e. POTUS, Twitter, etc., and/or mass censoring, which is the exact state we're in right now. Sealed federal orders pre-submitted as prevention and masked is in general, though that does not account for rogue agents, programmers within. Dates, impending actions are deliberately provided for authenticity. Alice in Wonderland. It's super important to the time that we're at today. What I'm going to get at with this is we've had missile attacks in Saudi Arabia, and we've had the heightening of tensions. And even later in the video, I hope you guys stick around to watch a little clip I'm going to play from Mike Cernovich on the Alex Jones show, where he actually goes through exactly what's going on. And then we're going to go through some stuff that happened after that interview that kind of verify what he's saying, as the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is making a tour through America, meeting with some of the most influential players, probably, in my opinion, pleading for help and pleading for everyone to calm down. in my opinion, because what you're going to see here is we're going to show actually a video of what's going on in Saudi Arabia right now with the missile attacks from Yemen, who, if we're going to explain this further into the Muslim thing, and the division in the Middle Eastern world, in the Middle East, between the Sunni and the Shias, we have to really look at it like this, okay? You have the Shias and the Sunnis, and they really don't like each other, and you have the Houthis, who's a rebel group that's in Yemen, who is purportedly, allegedly, being funded by Iran. So, and if you take that into account, you have to understand there's so much more to this story than meets the eye at first, because I mean they're launching missile attacks into the country of Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not here saying that Saudi Arabia is our best ally. Trust me, a lot of their views I do not agree with wholeheartedly, and I believe that their regime still oppresses women and still does things, although they are trying to make an effort. We need to focus on America first, and then push our allies or supposed allies in the right direction, even if they may or may not have been responsible for some pretty heinous attacks against our country that cost many, many thousands of lives. So we'll move on from there. I don't want to get too wrapped up into that. So here's the next post I wanted to read that talks about Saudi Arabia now. And why is it important? Because we have to go over all of Q's original posts. I mean, the whole point of Q is to put together the breadcrumbs from the beginning. You go back and you find the stuff that's relevant to what's happening today. And later, we're going to show you all the stuff that's happening today when we take a second here to talk about the barrage of missiles on Saudi Arabia, which just happened a few days ago, not too long ago, and what's going on in the United States with the Crown Prince today. So let's go ahead and read through this. It says, where is Tom Podesta? Where is Tony Podesta? Did one or both escape the country and was let out? Where is Barack Obama? Where was Barack Obama yesterday? What is the difference between commercial and private re-security clearance for departure? Who is the TSA head? Yeah, we'll look that up really quick. I'm going to pull that up right now. So here is a look at who the TSA administrator at the time was. His name is Peter Neffinger, and he was Obama's appointment from around 2015. And what he did, according to what we were reading here in Q, is very interesting. It's saying that there was somebody who let Podesta get out of the country, and his brother. That's what's being implicated here. So quite simply put, let's keep reading. Which party did he contribute to? What is of particular interest when researching? How does Homeland Security interact with TSA? What updated post 9/11 protocols were put in place to prevent, stop inbound, outbound classified level targets? What local airports are in close proximity to DC? What happened shortly after 9/11, specifically with all aircraft? Who was authorized to depart? Only one plane was authorized during this mandatory forced grounding? Who specifically authorized this? What airport did the departure take place at? Why is this relevant? How does it tie together? Podesta's plane has military escort, i.e. tag, and is being diverted, forced down. Short delay. This will be leaked. Watch the news. Have faith. Watch fake or what fake news anchor will not be on air tonight. Why is this relevant? What was stated in the past? Where did the $18 billion from Soros go? Why? Can it be used by bad actors, escape, bribes, rogue contractors, etc.? Slush fund? Did the U.S. government seize, stop, track other slush funds that prevent or create risks to operate? Why did Jared Kushner travel to Saudi Arabia recently? What is Saudi Arabia known for? Where do the biggest donations originate from? Why is this relevant? What else is relevant with Saudi Arabia? Safe harbor? Port of transfer? Why was there a recent smear campaign against Jared Kushner and POTUS? Why is the timing important? Who released the article? The Council of Wizards and Warlocks cannot be defeated. Nice view up here. Q. Okay, so that kind of goes through exactly what we're talking about here. This is all what's been going on in the past. And why is it important to what we're seeing today is pretty simple. I'm going to give you a real quick showing of what we are seeing live today in Saudi Arabia. So why don't you guys sit back and take a glance at this. So what you're seeing here are missiles that are being fired, the anti-missile weapons that are being fired in response to rockets being launched at Riyadh. So, I mean, you're seeing it here. A lot of dramatics in the video. Now here's another one. This one's even more terrifying. Could you imagine waking up and seeing this? Yeah. Yeah, this is on March 25th, so this was around 5 to 7 days ago. I mean, now, I don't wish anything on anyone as far as this goes. I think it's really very disturbing to watch these videos, but they also exist and we need to be cognizant of them. So that's just a taste of what's going on there. We have missiles coming and flying in. Now, I think this is really important to read here to understand the nexus between Barack Obama and Huma and Al-Walid, the prince in Saudi Arabia, who was part of the purged princes. We're going to read through it. And this is a picture that Q put up of, I would say, 2 battleships in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. And then he goes on to explain exactly what is going on here. Why was the arrest of Al-Walid and others important? How is Al-Walid and Barack Obama tied to Huma? Why did Al-Walid finance Barack Obama pre-political days? Why did Al-Walid finance Barack Obama pre-political days? Please ask yourself that. What is Huma define? It's the Harvard University alumni, alumni, I can't remember what it is. Harvard University Muslim alumni, that's right. What book was Barack Obama caught reading? Why was this immediately disregarded as false? What is Post-American World by Fareed Zakaria? Why is this relevant? Why would the President of the United States of America be reading this book? What church did Barack Obama attend pre-POTUS? Well, it was the Church of Gosh Darn America. Remember that. Who was Barack Obama's mentor? How is Al-Walid and HRC connected? Who was HRC's mentor? We already know that. The KKK Senator Byrd. How is Al-Walid and Bush Sr. Jr. connected? What occurred post 9/11? What war did we enter into? What was the purpose and disclosures given re-justification? Who financed 9/11? Why recently are classified 9/11 pages being released? What just occurred in Saudi Arabia? What FOIA docs are being publicly released recently? Why is this relevant? What information is contained within these classified releases? Why is Christopher Wray important with regards to these releases? What does money laundering mean? What is the single biggest event that can generate many nation states to pay out billions? Who audits where the money goes? $15,000 for a toothbrush? Reconcile. Why did we attack Iraq? Halliburton? Who are they? What do they specialize in? What is oilfield service? Why is this relevant? What senior level and political officials are affiliated with Halliburton? Dick Cheney. What is the primary goal? What is the primary mode of influence that drives corruption? What does money buy? How is this connected to Saudi Arabia? How is this connected to Al-Walid? How is this connected to Las Vegas? Q. Okay, there's a lot there. But how is it all connected is what the question is that's being asked. It's pretty simply laid out here if you want to connect the dots for yourself. But quickly to go through it, what they're saying is that Hussein and Huma and the Muslim Brotherhood is the connection to Al-Walid in Saudi Arabia, okay, and the Harvard University Muslim alumni, okay, and he's reading this book, Post-American World by Fareed Zakaria, which is basically laying out a one-world agenda and the fall of the United States as a global superpower. It's relevant because he's endorsing things like Reverend writes, "Gosh darn America." It's relevant because this is what Obama's doing, or Hussein's doing, I should say. I think that's a more appropriate term for him. Now, Our Lead and HRC are connected by money. That's pretty simple, as is Bush Senior Jr. They're connected by the contracts, the oil contracts, the big money they were able to make for not just them, but the high-level officials such as Dick Cheney and Halliburton and the weasel Karl Rove. So this is what's going on behind the scenes, and it's so important to point out now, as we are seeing missiles raining down in Saudi Arabia, and them taunting us with this world war that could pop off at any second now. And we're just sitting here reading Q posts, which I'm not against because I know that they're super important. But, I mean, $15,000 for a toothbrush? We need to reconcile with this, people, okay? This is them paying themselves out. I mean, I had friends who were stationed in Iraq, and they said it was just an awful time, especially when you were given things that weren't good or reliable by the contracting services that were coming in to give you stuff like drinking water and such whatnots. Nothing's very good in war, but I mean, the fact that I've heard stories about people who have just come in and provided no service but charged millions of dollars, or provided a half done job. It's just really, really infuriating. And if that doesn't really get your blood boiling, I don't know what will. But as we said, we're going to cover the barrage of missiles coming in. But I want to talk about something first, and that's just basically really quick about what we're going to get into with Mike Cernovich and what he's going to go over real quick when we watch his video. We have this war of words that's just being reported on today with Israel and Erdogan of Turkey. Now, they really don't like each other. They're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, I would say, as far as politics go. Turkey's been a moderate place, but now it's just become, I mean, it never really has been moderate because there's been a lot of genocide in that country. But recent modern politics, it's been a little bit quieter as we went through the Middle East and had our big hurrah. They didn't say much, and now they're really having problems on the border there with Kurds and with the ISIS that's left, and with the Syrians and everyone basically in that area. So you have this big conflagration of problems that's happening all at once, and you have Netanyahu calling out Erdogan basically for his dictatorial practices and his bolstering of the fundamental Islamic ideology, radical fundamental Islamic ideology that we should all be terrified of here, but prepared for. And we should not be scared, but we should be prepared. Okay? Not scared, prepared. Okay, so I'm going to let Mike Cernovich break this down. He does a much better job than I could ever do. So I hope you guys like him. He's a great, thoughtful guy. And he gives this great breakdown here of exactly what's going on and why we should all be concerned. So I'm going to turn the mic over to my friend Mike Cernovich. Why don't you guys take a listen to him right now?
Yeah, well, they've always wanted World War III, and it looks like we're now going to have a proxy war in Syria, and it'll be the U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Israel. I don't know if you saw this, but there are things that you can watch that if you're woke, you know what is happening. So there was a bunch of news footage of Saudi airstrike missiles shooting so-called Iranian missiles. And then that went viral. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Why is that clip going viral? So we'll talk about the Trump Russian diplomats, but something important yesterday happened that all woke people noticed is whenever you're starting to see a new messaging, you're like, oh, wait a minute, they got their talking points now from the deep state.
Oh, that's how,
So
I mean,
you
they still attack us with stuff that Podesta wrote 2 years ago. You know, gay frogs, nobody died at Newtown, all exactly. So you see the new talking points coming out that Saudi Arabia is going to help in Syria. Saudi Arabia's got weapons to fight Iran if Iran attacks them. It's the idea that Iran's getting ready to attack.
Exactly. So you're now seeing these great viral videos, and I retweeted one of the videos yesterday. They go, the Houthi rebels in Yemen backed by Iran. So you're like, wait a minute, now that they're doing this brilliant propaganda because they're going to propagandize us into war. So war is coming. The movie is turning dark. And it's going to be, there was even an article, Saudi Arabia opened up planes to Israeli airspace for the first time. So now the Saudis and the Israelis and the United States.
And then the Saudis are secretly meeting with Israel every day in Cairo. Exactly. And so they know how to put pressure on Trump. A lot of wild stuff behind the scenes, getting him all confused, telling me the war is coming, he's got to defend America, get it all rolling. And they go, sir, this will get us out of the Russia thing, even though it's not true. Be hardline with Russia, which is in Syria, and then get with Saudi Arabia, and exactly, and the whole thing unfolds.
Yeah, so we're headed towards World War III. I told people.
His own country attacked by missile from Yemen. Now, is this to spark a world war? We're not sure. We don't know where all the dominoes have lied or fallen yet. But let me tell you this right now. We have him meeting with these people. These are the Luciferians. Maybe he's going... but not Jim Mattis, of course. But I mean, maybe he's going and speaking to people who need to get a message. I mean, telling him, look, we've been down this road and we've decided that we're going to go with the United States against you. Or it could be the exact opposite. You know, we're hoping for a more moderate Saudi Arabia. That's the goal. We have to. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this in the comments, because I really have exhausted myself to try to figure out what the 4D chess is here. But let me tell you, there's a lot more to what they're doing than meets the eye. Okay, and they're making these look, Lloyd Blankfein. I mean, they're meeting with everyone they can in order to probably lobby support for whatever causes they have coming down the pike. And we have to be very skeptical and very weary about their influence here in America. They can be a helpful, hopefully helpful ally in the future. We're going to have to address some things that they did during the early 2000s, i.e. 9/11. We have to address that problem. And but this is kind of just echoing what's going on here. And we're actually, are we on the verge of a war? You know, that's really the question. I want to hear what you guys have to think about it in the comments. Please let me know. I'd love to hear your input here. I've been taking the last day off. I hope you guys had a great Easter holiday. I've actually decided I didn't post any videos and I didn't really do any work on YouTube for the whole day as a part of my effort to go with the popular people, you know, not the popular people, the popular consensus that we was hearing, which was that everybody wanted to do this boycott thing. And I don't know what its effect was yet, but I can tell you right now it was definitely not in vain, because it definitely sent a message, hopefully, to everyone out there that we have the power, because we are the viewers and we are the people who deserve the public platform to speak. We are the public speakers. This is the public square, and we cannot be silenced just because some censors want to tell us that we can. Now, here's something I wanted to point out that I thought was really, really important. And this is a person who tweeted, right? They said that this is the inscription on JFK's yacht on the bell. Where we go one, we go all. And truer words have never been said. Rest in peace, President Kennedy. I just want to say, where we go one, we go all. So thank you so much for your support here on this channel. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. I can't tell you how much it means. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, one of the easiest ways to come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That's the easiest way to contribute, and it's free to you, and it really helps me out big time, so I really appreciate when you guys do that. Also, if you want to contribute in an even better way, just as important and just as awesome, please go down and comment if you have a thought, if you have a theory, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you want to give me words of advice, give me words of encouragement, Bible verses, whatever, or share with others and go create your own dialogue with everyone down there. I encourage you to, because we have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos that you all need to get in on and keep the conversation going. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my voice is going, but keep the conversation going, keep it alive, and make sure that we get as many thoughts and ideas down in there as we can per each video, so we can continue to keep this forum alive. That's one of the greatest things about this channel, is it becomes a Q research forum at the end of each one of these videos, and we figure out so much that we continue to build on. So thank you so much to everybody who comes here and enjoys the content and then contributes. That's really appreciated. And one of the best ways you can contribute, I really need the support. I can't tell you how thankful I am to each and every one of you who have supported, but please come here and check out my Patreon page. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk and then click the red button to become a patron. That's the easiest way to get involved, and I really could use all the help I can. Come check out my rewards and my goal. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and yes, the featured Patreon patron episode will be coming up, where I'll mention each and every one of you by name and talk a little bit about the ones who I've had conversations with. There's one person who sticks out in my mind who's a really nice guy living up in Canada. He wants to become an American, and I say God bless him. But we'll get into that in the next episode as we go. So that's going to be it. And before we go, I want to take 1 minute to talk about the most important thing. Today was an interesting day for me. I got up and I enjoyed myself. I had a great morning, went out, did my own worship with the Lord, and had a great day with fellows, with my fellowship, and we made this amazingly wonderful day, basically, for ourselves to worship God and to understand that this is the day that Jesus has risen, that he rose from the dead to come and spend the rest of eternity guiding us and being our North Star, our beacon of light that we follow, the light that we want in our hearts to show to others. And I just was so blessed and fortunate to have so many great things happen. And it occurred to me as I was doing that when Jesus died on the cross, it wasn't the end, it was the beginning. And though a lot of people want to look at it as when we make sacrifices to help one another, when we work hard and we put ourselves out there to help each other grow and to become stronger in our faith, that it can seem like a detriment at times, and it can seem like a chore, and it can seem like a task. But you should never, ever take for granted, first of all, the life you have here on earth, and second of all, the ability you have inside yourself to shine a light unto others and make them into the creations that God wants, the people, the servants that God wants to spread his word and to make him holy, especially on today when we recognize the sacrifice of our Savior, Jesus, on the cross for us and his ascension to the right hand of the Father. So I want to leave you all with that, and I want you to challenge yourself to take the message, he is risen, hallelujah, and carry it through Easter, and carry it through the year, all the way till next Easter, because he is risen, and it is a glorious day indeed, and we should be thankful and put all of our thanks and praise to him. So that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. Make sure you hit the big red subscribe button if you haven't yet. Make sure you hit the bell for notification. That way you can get notified. But that's going to be it for me today. If you haven't taken away anything from this episode, just take away this. He is risen. Hallelujah. And I want to tell you, thank you so much to each and every one of you. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. And we'll be up again with more videos soon. But thank you for watching. I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless, Patriots.